Look at the man in the mirror. What do you see? Do you see a sovereign ruler, a mind carved from granite, a fortress of discipline? Or do you see a puppet? A puppet with strings tied to every fleeting desire, every whisper of temptation, every soft, warm distraction that promises comfort but delivers chains. Welcome back to Machiavellian Philosophy Wisdom. I am your strategist, and today we are not here to hold your hand. We are here to perform an autopsy on weakness. We are here to discuss the single most destructive force that has brought more kings to their knees, more empires to ruin, and more men to a life of quiet mediocrity than any enemy army ever could. That force is lust. Not just the lust of the flesh, but the lust for comfort, the lust for validation, the lust for the easy path. This is not a motivational speech. This is a strategic briefing. If you are still controlled by your impulses, you are not a free man. You are a slave with a good wardrobe. And a slave cannot build an empire. The Machiavellian mind understands that the body is a tool, the mind is the fortress, and the spirit is the sword. But lust is the termite that eats the foundation from the inside out, while the fortress looks strong to the outside world. You came here for the truth, so let me give it to you cold and hard. Your future is a mirror, and right now, that mirror is cracked by every urge you cannot control. If you do not learn to kill your lust will not just kill your future, it will erase the memory that you ever had the potential to build one. Today, we will uncover 7 hidden Machiavellian principles that will teach you to turn that fire in your blood into fuel for your rise. If you are ready to stop being a puppet and start being the puppeteer, you will listen to every word that follows. Let us begin. 1. The principle of resource allocation. Lust is a leak in your siege. Understand this first. In the Machiavellian philosophy, a man is a sovereign state. You are a nation of one. Your energy, your focus, your time, these are your capital. Every great ruler understands the principle of resource allocation. You do not send your best cavalry to chase a mirage in the desert while your fortress walls are crumbling. Lust is a strategic leak. When you allow yourself to be consumed by lust, whether it is for a woman, for status, for constant entertainment, you are diverting the river of your power into a swamp. Niccolo Machiavelli wrote that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Why? Because love is often built on fleeting emotion, on lust. Fear is built on respect for power. When you are controlled by lust, you are chasing love and validation, which makes you predictable, exploitable, and weak. The Machiavellian man allocates his resources with brutal efficiency. He asks, does this desire serve my long-term strategy, or does it serve my short-term comfort? If it serves only comfort, he cuts it off. Imagine you are a general laying siege to a city, your future. Lust is the enemy envoy who comes out with wine and women, trying to get you to abandon your post. If you drink, you lose the war. You must see lust for what it is, a diversion tactic designed by your own biology to keep you small. Every time you say yes to a temporary urge, you are saying no to the empire you claim you want to build. Stop leaking your power. Seal the walls. Conserve your ammunition, your mental clarity, your physical vitality, your aggressive drive for the conquest that actually matters. 2. The principle of impulse control. The virtue of the iron mask. Machiavelli introduced the concept of virtue, not virtue in the moral sense, but the strength, skill, and ruthlessness required to shape one's own destiny. A man with virtue can adapt to fortune, can ride the waves of chaos, because he is not controlled by the tides of his own emotions. Lust is the ultimate test of virtue. It is the rawest, most primal impulse in the human animal. The Machiavellian man does not deny that he has the animal inside him. He acknowledges it, looks it in the eye, and puts a muzzle on it. He wears an iron mask. To the world, he is calm, unreadable, stoic, but inside, he has tamed the beast.
When you can look at what you desire most, the thing that makes your blood run hot, and simply choose to walk away, you have achieved a level of power that most men cannot comprehend. This is not repression, this is strategic control. A general who charges at the first sight of the enemy is a dead general. A general who waits, who observes, who lets the enemy wear themselves out while he remains still and collected, he is the one who wins. Lust wants you to charge recklessly. Lust wants you to abandon your mission for a fleeting moment of pleasure. But remember, the man who can control his own impulses is the man who can control the room, the negotiation, and eventually the world. Every time you master an urge, you forge another link in your iron mask. Eventually, you become unreadable, untouchable, and unstoppable. 3. The principle of strategic detachment, the lion and the fox. Machiavelli famously stated that a prince must be both a lion to frighten the wolves and a fox to recognize the traps. Lust is a trap. It is the most beautiful, most alluring trap ever devised. It dresses itself in desire, in love, in the promise of fulfillment. But a trap is still a trap. The Machiavellian mind operates with strategic detachment. He learns to step back from his own emotions and observe them as if they were a game on a board. He sees lust rising within him, and he says, "Interesting, there is the impulse, but what is the outcome of this action? Will it bring me closer to my fortress, or will it lead me into the woods where I am vulnerable?" He detaches. He becomes the fox who sees the meat in the trap and says, "I see the meat, but I also see the steel teeth that will break my leg." Most men see the meat and dive in. They sacrifice their future for the present. The detached strategist says, "I will wait, I will build, I will become so powerful that the meat will come to me on my own terms, without the trap." Detachment is not coldness, it is clarity. When you are detached, you can see the consequences of your actions 10 moves ahead. Lust wants you to live move by move, reaction by reaction. A Machiavellian lives 10 moves ahead, and he knows that indulging a fleeting lust is often the move that sets him back 10 spaces. 4. The principle of reputation, the fear of being predictable. In the world of power, your reputation is your currency. It precedes you. It opens doors, or it slams them in your face. What is the reputation of a man controlled by lust? He is predictable. He can be bought with a smile, a kind word, or a flash of skin. He is a man whose loyalty can be bought by whoever offers him the next dopamine hit. The Machiavellian man understands that to be feared or respected, you must be unpredictable in your power, but absolutely predictable in your discipline. When men know that you will not be swayed by base desires, they begin to fear you. Why? Because they cannot manipulate you. They cannot offer you a woman to distract you from a bad deal. They cannot use your desires to lead you into a trap. You become a wall. And men do not try to climb walls they know are impenetrable. They go around them, leaving you in peace to build. Look at history. The greatest conquerors, Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, they were not men who abandoned their campaigns for pleasure. They understood that perception is reality. If they were seen as weak to pleasure, their own men would lose respect for them. Your reputation for discipline is the shield that guards your future. Every time you resist the easy path, you are broadcasting a message to the world, but more importantly, to your own subconscious. I am a man of my word. I am a man of strategy. I am a man who cannot be bought. 5. The principle of long-term strategy, the future self as the only sovereign. A Machiavellian does not live for today. He lives for the strategic victory. He understands that the self is not a single entity, but a chain of selves, the past self, the present self, and the future self. And the present self is constantly at war with the future self. Lust is the weapon of the present self. It says, take it now. You deserve it now. You can deal with the consequences later. But the Machiavellian mind sees this as treason. You are betraying your future sovereign, the man you will be in 5, 10, 20 years. That man is the only king you should serve. When you indulge in lust, whether it is procrastination, meaningless sex, addiction to pleasure, you are stealing from that future king. You are taking bricks from his fortress to build a bonfire that will burn out by morning. Machiavelli advised that a prince should consider the long-term stability of the state over short-term gains. You are the state. Your future self is the state. Every decision you make today should be a vote for that future ruler. Ask yourself, will the man I want to become in 5 years thank me for what I am about to do? Or will he look back with disgust at the wasted time, the drained energy, the opportunities lost because I was chasing a fleeting high? The Machiavellian man makes decisions that his future self will praise. He is the architect of a legacy, not a tenant in a rented moment of pleasure. 6. The principle of psychological warfare, turning the fire inward. Now we go deeper into the dark psychology. The world will try to use your lust against you. Advertising, social media, even the people around you, they will weaponize your desires to extract your labor, your attention, and your money. This is psychological warfare. They are trying to keep you in a state of perpetual wanting, perpetually unsatisfied, perpetually chasing. The Machiavellian counter to this is to turn that fire inward. Instead of allowing your lust to be directed outward, at women, at status symbols, at entertainment, you redirect it. You weaponize it against your own weakness. You develop a lust for power, a lust for discipline, a lust for knowledge. You become addicted to the grind. This is alchemy. You take the base metal of primal desire and transmute it into the gold of focused ambition. When you feel that burning in your chest, that primal urge, you do not seek to extinguish it by feeding it with cheap pleasure. You harness it. You go to the gym. You study strategy. You build your business. You use that raw, fiery energy as jet fuel for your ascent. The masses are controlled by their desires. The Machiavellian controls his desires and uses them as tools. He is not a man without fire. He is a man who has learned to stoke the fire in the forge of his will, hammering his future into shape with every red-hot blow of focused intent. They try to enslave you with lust. You use that same lust to forge the chains that will bind the world to your will. 7. The principle of the void, the power of emptiness. This is the most hidden, the most Machiavellian principle of all. Most men are terrified of silence, of boredom, of emptiness. They use lust, whether it is scrolling on their phone, watching videos, chasing relationships, to fill the void. They cannot stand to be alone with their own thoughts. The Machiavellian man understands that the void is not an enemy, it is the raw material of creation. When you kill your lust, you are not just removing a distraction, you are creating a vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum. But a strategist loves one, because in that emptiness, in that silence, in that space where the noise of desire used to be, you can hear your own thoughts. You can hear your own strategy. You can hear the whispers of your deepest, most ruthless ambitions. The man who cannot sit in silence, who must always be consuming, is a man who is running from himself. He is running from the work he needs to do. The Machiavellian embraces the void. He sits in the cold, empty room with no stimulation, and he plans, he thinks, he becomes comfortable with the discomfort of wanting. And in that discomfort, he builds the calluses of discipline. He learns that he needs nothing external to feel complete. When you need nothing, you cannot be controlled. When you are comfortable in the void, you are free. The world tries to sell you the idea that you need to fill your life with sensation to be happy. But happiness is not the goal of a Machiavellian. Power is, and power is born in the void, in the cold, calculated silence where the weak dare not go. Kill your lust, and you will find that the emptiness left behind is not a hole, it is a throne waiting to be claimed. So, you have heard the 7 hidden Machiavellian principles. You have seen the map. The question is not whether you understand the words. The question is whether you have the spine to live them. The world is full of men who know what to do. The world is starved of men who actually do it. Killing your lust is not a one-time event. It is a daily assassination. Every morning you wake up, and the urge to be weak, to be comfortable, to be a slave will knock on the door of your mind, and every morning you must answer with a blade. This is the path of the Machiavellian. It is not a path of easy gratification. It is a path of cold, hard, deliberate construction. You are building a legacy while others are burning their futures for a moment of heat. If you want to be successful, you must understand that success is not a gift given to the lucky. It is a fortress taken by the disciplined. Your lust in all its forms is the enemy army at your gates. You can either surrender, live a quiet desperation, and watch your potential die on the vine, or you can man the walls, hold the line, and become the ruler of your own destiny. Remember this name, Machiavellian Philosophy Wisdom. This channel is not for the weak. It is for the strategists, the warriors, the men who are ready to look in the mirror and start a war with the part of themselves that wants to stay comfortable. If you are ready to go deeper into the art of power, discipline, and dark psychology, you will hit that subscribe button. You will turn on notifications, because we are not here to be liked. We are here to be undeniable. Now go, sit in the void, plan your conquest, and remember, if you do not kill your lust, it will not just kill your future, it will make sure you never even had one worth remembering. The world is yours to take, but only if you have the strength to take it. I will see you in the next video.